This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 22, Caged, Deranged, and Changed.
Superman.
This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 22, Caged, Deranged, and Changed. I am Paul Hawkins, and as ever, I am joined by...
Damien Hicks.
And Brett Summers.
I just realised that actually I was pointing to Brett, and obviously in your screen that's to you. But hey, it worked out. So, what a roller coaster of 90 minutes this has been for us, and what a roller coaster of a week. So, without further ado, let's just go over to Brett for a change, because I think we went to Damien first last week on our comeback episode or whatever it was. So let's go over to Brett. Brett, you've been living the dream. No school. School is out for summers. What have you been making the most of your time with on the big screen or the little screen?
Okay, well, the main thing that I've been watching since we last spoke, I'm 3 episodes deep in a brand new Cherry Flavour, the new TV series on Netflix, limited series on Netflix, and it is what can be described as totally off its face in a good way. It is about a young lady who has made a small sort of independent movie and is taking it to Hollywood to try and get the big deal for it. And she's played by Rosa Salazar, and she meets this prolific filmmaker called Lou Burke, who's played by Eric Lang. And the idea is, they're going to sign a contract. He's going to take her on board. She's going to direct this film, and it's going to be massive. But obviously, he kind of screws her over a bit, and a few things happen, and she's out for revenge. But it's kind of not in the way you think, because when she's at this showbiz party, she meets this lady called Borrow, Borro, who's played by Catherine Keener, who you might remember from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and she offers herself as someone who can get revenge on things for people. And it slowly takes a very Lynchian kind of Brian De Palma turn down a very surreal road that I'm still not quite sure how it's going to end up, but I think it's going to end up bad for everyone. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I've reviewed the first 3 episodes on cultfaction.com, brand new Cherry Flavour, but I think you do need to watch it, and I think it's one of those, once you've watched all of it and you go back and watch it again, you'll probably spot more things and pick out more things. But there's definitely a Mulholland Drive-y vibe to it, I would say. So recommended especially if you liked Mulholland Drive or have been scarred by it for the last 20 years.
You shoved that up your ass.
You love that film.
It sounded like quite a good storyline, the way you're saying it, and she gets screwed over with the film, and she finds someone to come and help her out, get some revenge and stuff. But I just don't know whether I can be bothered with all the weird stuff that you just said, the Brian De Palma type.
I haven't even gone into the weird stuff. I've left that out because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. But
yeah,
but I mean, it's proper weird. It's dark weird.
I don't know. I mean, I'm the same as you. I'm 3 episodes in, and I'd seen people saying, "Oh, it's proper scary stuff." I'm not seeing that yet.
Oh, is it scary? Oh,
apparently it's supposed to be, but
I would say more
3,
weird than scary.
Maybe 4 episodes in. I've lost track now.
Weird and I would say weird and disturbing rather than like scary. Quick, put the lights on. I'm being frightened.
Yeah, you're right about Mulholland Drive and that kind of stuff. It's got that kind of feel to it. I mean, I am disappointed that it's set in the 90s. Yeah, it doesn't look very 90s. No,
I didn't even realize it was set in the 90s.
You don't notice no one's got a mobile phone. I mean, the amount of times that she's stuck
Oh yeah,
somewhere
good
or
point.
trying.
Yeah, she goes to a call box, doesn't she? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right. Now you said it. I was
Yeah.
still busy trying to work out some of the more other things that happen.
Yeah, you're right. You spend more time looking at the background to see if any of this is actually real, and it's all just some sort of weird dreamscape
Yeah,
nonsense.
I'm sure, and I put this in a review without giving much away. I'm sure the license plates mean something, but I'm not sitting there and decoding them because a lot of the car license plates get far too much time in quick shots than they should do. It's almost
Yeah, you're right. The first
making
episode.
sure you see it, and
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where you really gotta. You might need a notepad, but I might be overthinking it. That's what I say. I think once we've seen the whole thing, and I'm glad it's a limited series, and they've pretty much said that there won't be a sequel. So that's good because you can tell your story and not then get it watered down and screwed over. So I'm happy with that.
I think my only gripe so far is that that Spectre thing, the demon or whatever it is that's supposed to be sort of following around that pops up.
I haven't even got that. The dude on the bike.
No. So when she drinks,
the
she
weird
has to
thing.
eat whatever it is, stew, and then that weird thing keeps appearing and disappearing. It looks like it's come straight off the set of Channel Zero. I don't know if you ever watched that, but it looks like
I watched some of those.
When that got cancelled, they borrowed the puppet from that.
Because the guy from Channel Zero's in it as well, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
He pops up, doesn't he? One of the I forgot what his name now, but one of the guys from Channel Zero pops up in some of the episodes as well. But yeah, no, I will finish it. It's good. I would recommend it, Paul, but it is. It's not a straight.
I'm getting mixed signals.
No, it's good. It's just that it's slow. I mean, like I say, I think I'm already 4 episodes in.
I've done 3, so I'm going to watch the rest tonight probably.
It's one of the. You reckon? The amount of nonsense we talk for God knows how many hours. Anyway,
I haven't got to get up in the morning.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's just a bit slow, but you never know. It might pick up. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's
No, that's all right. No, that's all right. Chime in. That's what it's all about. And I've also watched the first episode that came out, I think even last night or today, the first episode of Heels, which is
the wrestling thingy.
Yeah, which is the new wrestling show with Stephen Amell and the bloke from Vikings. Really good, to be fair. It's on the nose. Stephen Amell's definitely done his research in the other people in the program. I would say some people involved in the wrestling business might not like it because it kind of maybe shows it a little bit too honestly at times.
So the razor blades to the scalp before they go.
Oh no. I mean, even just the fact of like the the illusion that it's all everyone's rich and making money when really like they might not be, and things like that. I mean, there's a really fun bit that you'll appreciate if you've ever been involved in wrestling, where he's like going around his house and he's just got all these boxes of smoke machines that have arrived and they're just all piled up by the front door waiting for the next show and things like that. And it's just one of those sort of things, those little things that just sort of.
Is there a load of wrestling figures that are going to end up in someone's loft for however many years to sell at the next show?
10 years. There is stuff like that, yeah. And it is very much. It is the small town. They're the Duffy Wrestling League, which is like small town Georgia, and Jack Spade, which is Stephen Arrow Amell's character. He sort of runs it behind the scenes, and he's like the big villain of the company, the heel. And his younger brother Ace Spade, who's Alexander Ludwig from Vikings, like he's like the hero with the company. But it's kind of like in real life they're like the opposite. So this
is what I was going to ask you. So when we talked about this, okay, God knows how many weeks ago, we kind of almost predicted that it was going to be more about family drama and family dynamics than it is about the underbelly of the wrestling world. Is that how it's panning out? Or
it's a bit of both. I would say it's the first episode was very much kind of, if you didn't know anything about wrestling, here's kind of a crash course on the thing. Like one of the other wrestlers has got a pregnant girlfriend and she's sort of like, but it's all fake, isn't it? And they're like, don't say the fake word, it still get hurt and all that. And they kind of, it's covered enough, and you see some of the guys training and all that. And it's done it enough in a way that, well, it's realistic and honest. It's not talking down to the audience, but it's also showing them that it's not all on trampolines and no one doesn't get hurt or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
so it kind of gives everyone a bit of an introduction, even if they're not too familiar with it.
Yeah, it's basically, so if you've never watched wrestling before and you fancy Stephen Amell from Arrow and you've watched this, you've got an idea what's going on now. And then it builds in the family dynamic. And basically, the younger brother is the one that, like, up north are looking for to, like, they want to sign him and be a star, which would be the WWE, I guess, or whatever. You know, they don't say it. They do mention other companies and wrestlers and stuff, but he's like the prospect. But of course, Stephen Amell, the older brother, kind of wants him to hang around because it's good for the business there, and there seems to be a lot to do because their father has passed away. He's called Tom Spade, and he's been played by David James Elliott. So I think as it goes over, we'll get this family dynamic background kind of thing. But in reality, once you take the wrestling side out of it, which is really good, and there's some good people in it. There's another girl in it who's the brother's valet, played by Kelly Berglund, called Crystal, and she's like the sort of girl who clearly she's got a very good mind for wrestling, but she's only the valet. So like, you can't come in the dressing room, you need to get changed over there. And every time she tries to say something, they kind of shut her down or whatever. And it's like, you know, if you listen to her, she might be able to help, you know, but that's not happening yet. It's almost Dallas, but wrestling, you know. It's that kind of family dynamic kind of thing, and it works really well there. And the thing is, as well, is they've almost, I think it's probably the closest they've come to actually blurring the lines of wrestling now, because you've almost got the sort of the storyline of this TV show. Obviously, the backdrop of it is wrestling, but it's almost like, and they're doing their own stunts and stuff as well. They all went and got trained, but you're almost like watching that, and then like, so what's the difference between that and wrestling?
Not a lot.
Do you get what I mean? It's almost like has it gone that much full circle now where we can just watch a TV show of wrestling?
Careful, Brett. Don't think about it too much. The universe might implode.
Mine will.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Very
You know,
meta.
What's the soundtrack like? Is it country? Or is it
no,
rock?
very air guitar friendly.
Oh, okay.
There's a few nice little ditties in there. There's like a southerny opening. Reminded me a bit of, like, I don't know if it was Curtis Stigers, I haven't checked yet, but there's almost that kind of Sons of Anarchy kind of opening song, and
Nice.
some nice air guitar songs in there and stuff. And it's good, really worth a watch. Though it was really entertaining, and it's just now it's that thing, isn't it? You had your hour first episode, now you got to sustain that for a series though.
Yeah.
And what's it on? Did you say
I watched it on Stars with a Z.
the Disney one?
No. The Amazon.
See,
it's on Amazon in the UK.
I'm probably the only one who gets confused about this.
No, the Amazon
Disney
one
one
has
is
a
Star,
Z.
isn't it? Yeah.
Disney is Stars, but the Amazon one's got a Z because it's more street than that.
Yeah.
And that's the main things I'm watching. Still watching the Harley Quinn cartoon as well, which is a bit behind in the UK than it is in America. It's got very good lately. There's definitely some interesting subjects it keeps touching on, including the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy relationship. The violence is still there. The rude jokes are still there. I know it's an adult-orientated cartoon, but it kind of keeps to the sort of storylines you would expect and the characteristics you'd expect from those people. But they've just ramped it up, and it's good. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it makes me laugh.
What could you ask for?
Exactly. That's probably been it until I shout over someone in a minute when I remember something else that I watched.
No doubt.
Cool. So in that case, let's hand over to Damien and let Brett shout over you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I've binge watched the latest season of Ghosts on BBC, and it just gets better.
Is that series 3 now?
Series 3.
Yeah.
Because it's just started. Just to be clear, this is the UK version, because they've just started it in American.
I'll come on to that in a minute.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, this just gets better and better. It doesn't get this. I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves. It's a proper character-driven sitcom. It doesn't rely on quick one-liners. It doesn't rely on stupid scenarios. I mean, the scenario itself is stupid, but that's it. It doesn't rely on people being caught with their trousers down, which is kind of a daft thing to say when one of the ghosts did die with his trousers down. But you get what I mean. It's not it's not stupid comedy. It's
not
clever. It's well
farcical.
written.
Yeah.
It's not farcical. It is a bit, but not over the top. And yeah, as you say, Brett, it's made the leap across the pond. Have either of you two seen the trailer for it?
Not the American one, no.
I have, but I'll be honest, I didn't pay much attention because I didn't pay the UK one much attention. Because I did. CBS, I think it's on.
CBS,
in
that's
America.
the one. Yeah.
CBS,
Obviously they've got to change it because obviously different country would have different ghosts and a different historical timeline, and that's all fine. But it's a bit like what I just alluded to in everything the Ghost isn't. It's fast, quick gags to get as many in half an hour as you can, which I think is typical of every American sitcom, unlike UK ones where it's more subtle. And it doesn't look as, even though Ghosts itself over here isn't dark, it's grounded. And you know, the couple, the protagonist, they don't have any money. They've inherited this house, and they're trying to do it up, and it's a struggle. It seems by looking at the trailer of the American one, within weeks they've turned it into a well kitted out hotel, and they've obviously got the money to do that. And that's part of the dynamic of the original. Is it's a struggle to get to do what they want to do with the house.
Weren't they going to sell it in the original, but they ended up not selling it for some reason because they like staying with the ghosts or something. Yeah.
Well, it's only her that can see them, and I'm assuming it's the same for the US version. But yeah, that's the main thing I've been watching.
So it does get, because I did watch the first. I think I did watch about the first 6, and I just kind of, and I like most of the people in it because it's like the Horrible History crew and anything else then, or just Ghosts? Is that all you've been watching?
No, I've started season 2 of Outer Banks again. Something that neither of you two have been watching. I'm not gonna. We went over it before. It's a teen drama about a group of friends. In the first season, they were searching for. It's like Goonies, but they're a bit older. They were searching for gold. In season 2, the first couple of episodes have wrapped up that storyline, and they've moved on to something else. I don't know what else yet because I haven't got there. It's a key. I'm sure it's going to be thrilling and exciting to watch.
You sound convinced.
No, it's one of those things. It's easy to watch. Clearly I'm not the demographic for this, but it's a fun watch. Some of the decisions they make, you think, oh, for fuck's sake, you wouldn't do that. But you wouldn't make a show if you did that every time. So that's fun. And as you say, we've just talked about it. Brand new red cherry flavour.
I've just remembered another one.
See, this is what happens.
Of course you do.
I have been watching the 7th series of Reno 911 on the Roku app. And the original series stopped in 2009, and then they came back and made a 7th series. And there's 25 episodes, but they are shorter, but still just as funny, still probably just as offensive, and still really worth a watch. Especially in the current series, they've done lots of little sort of Reno Police Department little adverts to help you with things, such as that one of the ones in one of the later episodes is why blackface is bad now, and things like that, and different things, what not to look up on the internet, and how not to, what's sexist and things like that. So you get these little videos, and the genius of Reno 911 is that whole crew, half of it is probably made up on the spot as they go along, and that, it's very improv, very, very funny, but also it does seem to be one of the few comedies still that isn't afraid, or American comedies at least, that isn't afraid to sort of push the line a little bit and maybe be a little bit politically incorrect, or maybe be a little bit on the edge. So like South Park and that do it, but actually having a comedy with real actors who might go out and say something slightly offensive, in this day and age can be a massive risk. So I think it's good that they do it, and also it's done in that way that it's the characters who are the idiots, so it's okay. It's not, well, I think it's okay because you're showing the character's idiot, not the person, not the actor behind the character. The character they are playing in a fictional TV series might be a bit off or a bit weird in some ways, and I think that's right.
Oh, it's very difficult to get away with that nowadays.
I know it, but it works on that, and I recommend it. It's on the Roku app. I found it by accident, and it was a pleasant surprise. And they're only about 15 minutes an episode, so it's stuck between Gardener's World and EastEnders. Chuck one on, spoil yourself.
Cool.
What you been watching, Paul?
So, I am in Ireland this week, so I'm kind of limited to what I can watch.
Are you watching The Commitments?
Careful now. No. So while we're over here, we have the normal Sky channels. But before I went away, still carrying on with instead of Gadget Man, Travel Man, which I really like with Ayawadi in it, and a different guest every week. Bit of escapism. Also been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which for whatever reason has escaped me by over these last few years. But it's on channel 4, I think. Is it channel 4?
E4,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, one of them. So I watch a couple of those every day, and I really like it. It's it's not long. It's 22 minutes with the breakout of it. If you haven't heard of it before, like me, I don't know why, because it's probably one of the most popular comedy series out in the States.
Recently been cancelled, I think.
No, it's just finished. No, it hasn't been cancelled. It's come to its last series. Handmaid's Tale on Sunday night. I don't necessarily think we've spoken too much about Handmaid's Tale, because I think I'm the only one of the three of us that watches it. But
you're allowed to talk about it, though.
Set in a dystopian future in the US, where they basically gone mad, had a little internal war going on. Government was overthrown by some religious zealots that seem to think that they need to bring about a new world order of religion. Really hard for people to conceive. So in essence, they make every woman that can give birth to a child live with people of wealth and power, and they basically are forced to be impregnated.
Baby units.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's a really dark, obviously quite violent, quite harrowing. This is like the fifth series on, so obviously there's been lots of going and different storylines over the last 5 series, but without giving anything away, because I am. So spoiler alerts, but hey, it's your fault because it's on like season 5 if you haven't seen it now. The main characters basically made it to Canada, and managed to finally escape the US. And while she's in Canada, then the people that held her hostage or prisoner are also over in Canada, and maybe going on trial soon. So it's almost that, coming full circle, and her trying to get revenge and justice finally, even though, you kind of think, is it actually going to happen, or are they going to get away with it and go back to the States as being heroes or whatever? And she's still got one of her children over in the States as well. So you're never quite sure what's going to go on, whether she's going to try and mount some rescue mission or whatever. Or whether
It's the girl from Mad Men, isn't it? I can't remember her name now. The actor from Mad Men.
Yeah. She's been in loads of stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's a really good performance. There's nothing bad about it. It's just
Meghan Merkel.
No. You're just kind of worried that they're going to try and drag it on.
Her story is quite similar, though.
Leaving one oppressive country to escape to Canada. I won't continue that. But you're just kind of worried that they're going to drag it out for another 5 series as opposed to bringing it to a conclusion sooner rather than later.
Elizabeth Moss.
Thanks, bro.
She plays June Osborne.
Yeah.
It was bugging me. I had to look it up.
But no, I mean, if you haven't seen any of Handmaid's Tale, then it's certainly probably worth a watch on box sets now, because you can just binge watch it all. One thing I will say is that the soundtrack was better on the first couple of series and a bit punchier, and it's kind of gone into the background of the later ones. But yeah.
Have they run out of money for music?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think probably just different directors or different
Is
ways
it-
of going it. But yeah.
Have they run out of Pat Benatar songs?
So yeah, so that was Handmaid's Tale. The other one, which I don't know how I stumbled across it, but I did stumble across it, and I think without knowing that it was coming, even though it's like the premiere night, is Boss Level. So
Oh yeah.
so Boss Level stars Frank Grillo, who seems to be in pretty much any film over the last year of lockdown. He seems to be in everything that I put on Netflix or Amazon that's not a blockbuster movie. So he's obviously been scooped
Maybe he
up.
was one of the first to get vaccinated, involved in
Yeah.
the trials or something.
Yeah, but he just seems to be in everything. So it's Frank.
He did all the purges, didn't he? And then he did the Marvel films as well.
He seems to be everywhere. It's like it's almost like his renaissance. You know, it's his time of not quite being a superstar, but being like that next level,
Yeah.
next level down. But he's almost like primed to be maybe a superstar. But yeah, so it's Frank Grillo who plays a special ops or ex special ops. I don't know, special operation force member or whatever, army guy. Naomi Watts, who plays his scientist wife. Mel Gibson, who plays a head of a corporation that Naomi Watts works for. Surprising enough, Rio Grillo plays Frank Grillo's son. So the storyline is basically, as I said, I won't give too much away.
Hey, it's Damien here. Despite what he just said, he gives a fair bit of the plot away, so you might want to skip forward 10 minutes or so.
But this is kind of a Frank Grillo wakes up in the morning, gets attacked, ends up being killed, and lo and behold, he repeats the day over and over and over again. So similar sounding, storyline that we've heard in the likes of, well, we talked about it the other day in Live, Die, Repeat, or Tom Cruise with we talked about it a few weeks ago.
I know
Top
we did,
Gun-
and I wasn't listening then.
Top Gun 2.
Tom Cruise. I've stopped listening. When you,
Mission
anyone mentions Tom
Impossible.
Cruise.
Edge of
Mission
Tomorrow.
Impossible 10. Minority Report.
Edge of Tomorrow. Is it Edge of Tomorrow?
No idea.
Legend.
Jesus
Risky
Christ.
Business.
Is it Cocktail?
Rain Man.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Really good. Where he dies, has to repeat
it's
the day over again. It is.
Vanilla
Yeah.
Sky?
I just told you, Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so in a similar vein. So Frank Grillo basically dies, wakes up in like a never-ending loop of time travel. I.e., if he dies, the day resets basically. So in a similar vein, he has to work out why all these random people seem to be wanting to kill him. So that's the other vein. There's loads of different assassin type things. So I think John Wick, or Reds, with all these kind of assassins all trying to kill him. Each with their own raison d'etre or modus operandi of trying to kill him. Some have knives, some have helicopters, or they're chasing him in MPVs, or trying to spike him. As I said, there's lots of different ways of trying to kill him. They all try and kill him, and he doesn't know why. But lo and behold, his scientist wife may have the clue, unfortunately, she dies in his day. But is she dead?
Spoiler alert.
Well, no, it's not really, because is she dead? You don't know. Is Mel Gibson the bad guy just saying that she's dead? So it basically follows Frank Grillo trying to uncover the rationale behind why these people are trying to kill him. And he manages to get really good at certain ways of beating his enemies, stuff that we've seen before, but they do it in a really clever way. Is it the biggest budget film ever? No, it's not. So some of the special effects aren't particularly great, but they pack a lot in as well. So it's under 2 hours. But as I said, it's got Frank Grillo's son in it, and they actually managed to spend like 10 to 15 minutes just building up on the whole idea that, you know, he's an estranged father, but he wants to try and get back with him. You know, he's only got a day to do it in essence. So he spends a lot of his time when he realizes that maybe he can't get out of this loop, just trying to spend time with his kid. So, and they do it really well. You know, I mean, it doesn't necessarily pluck on your heartstrings, but you do get emotionally involved in it. Unfortunately, it turns out that if he carries on going through the same day,
Hang on, are you just because I'm making the thing? I don't need to watch this film now because you've just narrated it for me.
Naomi Watts is in it as well. How does she end up in it? She's really good.
But you don't know what's happened. You don't know, you know, why the day's repeating. I'm just saying that he builds up. They spend some time with him and his kid, which they didn't really need to do. But you know,
But I already know what happens now.
You don't know what happens. What happens?
I do.
What happens then?
His kid's dead, isn't he?
What?
His kid's dead.
No, you don't know what happens. Maybe his kid is dead, but
You've ruined it. You've ruined it all.
The thing that snaps him out of just spending the day over and over
Hang
again
on,
with
surely
his
that's
kid.
part of the plot point is to try and figure out or work out or wait for what gets him out of the endless loop, like watching Groundhog Day.
So
you don't want to know what's going on during Groundhog Day if you've never seen it before.
I'm not going to tell you what gets him out of the loop.
Literally just
No.
But the thing that gets him out of the loop, and that's why I stopped it.
No. Let me explain. The thing that stops him, just spending eternity with his kid, is the fact that if he carries on, you know, reliving the day, then it's basically the end of existence. So he has to then.
Did we find that out in the first 30 seconds, or have you just killed?
What's that?
Did we find that out in the first 30 seconds, or have you just done a major plot spoiler point?
What, that it keeps on dying?
No, we know that because that's in the trailer. What I'm saying is you've literally just said the world's going to end if this loop stops. But is that in the first 30 seconds of the film, or have you just killed the film for anyone who's listening who hasn't watched it?
But he'll never see his little boy again. What a sacrifice, man.
It doesn't kill the film at all because it's got nothing to do with understanding why he's in a loop or whatever. You know, I could go on to blow those.
The boy is dead.
I haven't even said the boy is dead.
You don't need to, but he obviously is.
Maybe, but they all died. So what does it matter? You could just, you know, you could just say, well, the bartender that's really nice and, you know, is really good for him. You know, dies, which she does, even though you don't see it.
And it's also got Ken Jeong in it, and Rashad Evans and Rob Gronkowski as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson does a good kind of evil guy, but yeah, he's not going to win any Oscars for it. But yeah, it's nice seeing him in a film
I don't
again.
think he's ever going to win an Oscar again. To be fair, did he ever win one in the first place? But I don't think he's even going to get nominated now. Not with his history.
You never know. There have been comebacks in the past.
Yeah.
So as I said,
stand away from that one.
Give it a watch, because I think it's worth it. You know, it's not a big, you know, multi-million pound film.
I was going to. You told me everything that happened.
Yeah, I don't think I
told you everything that happened. You don't know why the day's repeating. You don't know how he manages to stop it repeating.
Well, we know why now, don't we?
Why?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I tried not to listen, but if I listen back, you'll tell us.
No, I won't.
And you'll tell us that the world's going to end if this loop, whatever it is, doesn't continue.
Yeah,
but
so
can he suffer the torment of separating himself from his dead son, though, that he'll never see again if he does it?
His son isn't dead. Yeah. What? Well, he is. They all die. But do they? Yeah, that's only if he doesn't stop the day. That's why he has to go back and stop the day from ending. And he can only do that by, and I'm not going to say.
Does Ziggy tell him what to do?
Go watch it. Don't. I don't care.
I'm gonna do an impression of you now, Brett. I've been watching a lot of Quantum Leap, but we're not going to dwell on that because everyone knows what Quantum Leap is.
I saw one where he was a radio station man the other night. I just remembered. In the 50s, and he kissed a girl, and apparently they get married.
Is that the one
turned over, and that was that bit.
So is Quantum Leap the one that's on Disney Star?
No, it's on
Sci-Fi.
What do you mean? Is Quantum Leap the one that You know what Quantum Leap is.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure whether that's just been because it's just been released to one of the streaming services, and I wasn't sure whether it was Disney or whether it was one of the
No,
other
it's on
ones.
Sci-Fi, which means you can get it on your Sky Q
Sky.
box or
Yeah.
or your
And you
Virgin.
can also get the complete box set at Fabulous Films with the original soundtrack still intact. Fabulous
Awesome.
Films.
Fabulous Films.
Right, so that's me done.
News desk.
The news.
News items. Brett, what's hitting the news board today?
Okay, first up in the news items, they're back. The Smurfs are back. A new teaser trailer's dropped, and the new series apparently will follow Papa Smurf, Smurfette, Brainy, Hefty, Clumsy, and all the other inhabitants of the Smurf village that they're still allowed to name without getting told off about, and including the female Smurf tribe led by the brave and wise matriarch Willow that we saw in the third Smurfs movie. It's back. There's the whole series coming in September the 10th. The first episode, Smurf Fu, takes place when Smurfette rescues Brainy from Giant Snake, and other Smurfs ask her to teach them Smurf Fu. And then there's a whole other range of hilarious episodes coming up from there.
I thought you were going to say
What do we
toys coming
think?
our way.
Oh,
Seriously,
yes, there will be toys.
why are we talking about this?
It's a cult cartoon that's lasted like 100 years. And it's the Smurfs. Everyone loves the
Shut
Smurfs.
I don't.
Have you got no soul?
I
Where
have
is
no
your
soul,
soul
clearly.
going?
I hated
Everyone
the
loves
Smurfs
the
when I was a
Smurfs.
kid. Why would I want to watch? How many films are we on now?
Well, this
This
isn't
is
the
a new
film.
film.
Series.
This
This
is
is
the
a new
series.
series.
Oh, just piss off. Not interested.
Well, there were kind of two films, and then you added like a cartoon film, didn't you?
Yeah, I think this is what then this follows on from that by the looks of it.
Yeah, because the film with Neil Patrick Harris, Hank Azaria, who played the bad guy.
Gargamel, yeah.
Yeah, that was alright. I watched that. Had to watch
Taking a
that a
long
few
time.
times. Yeah, so I didn't mind that one too much. So the second one was a bit wishy-washy. The third one was just basically a cartoon. So this the TV series just seems to be, following on from that. Okay, then they've got a village of female Smurfs now. So
That was in the third film as well. That was the third film.
yeah. But for the series that they've got the female Smurfs now. So to obviously balancing out poor old Smurfette having to be the only female in the village, as it were. So she doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
She hasn't got to keep smurfing everyone anymore.
Oh, that was some of the nice hidden meanings in some of the kids' films 1 and 2, talking about the fact that Smurfette's the only girl. I don't know. I think Dame's a bit right. I'm not going to be watching any of the Smurf series.
You say that now.
No, I'm not, because I don't think the kids are at an age anymore where they're interested in watching the Smurf series. So I'm out.
I just think you're all dark. There's no such thing as a bad Smurfs episode or film, and you've got no souls.
I have no words.
And on that
We'll be
bombshell,
talking about trolls next week, won't we?
if it was the film from the 80s, that'd be cool.
No, I'm talking about the
Trolls World Tour that was out last
Yeah.
year, or the new Trolls film that will no doubt be out with Anna
there's bound to
Kendrick.
be one at some point. Probably straight to Blu-ray.
No.
No?
The Trolls World Tour was
Disney
big.
Plus.
No, but I mean, by the time they get to the third one, these tend to just go straight to.
Well, it's straight to streaming service anyway.
So you're very adamant on your fence of Trolls, there, Paul. I will say that.
No, I meant the original film from the 80s.
No, you went through every film that they've made in that franchise and what year it came out then.
Well, yeah, but I've had to watch the Trolls. I quite like what they did.
It wasn't me on there. I wasn't on there.
I didn't have to watch it for the kids, whatever.
I didn't say let him have it.
I'm surprised Justin Timberlake didn't make it to your soundtrack episode.
Who said that was not volume 2?
Okay, then well, moving on. Next, we have a very important Cage Watch announcement to make.
Cage Watch alert.
Watch.
The man is back. Nicolas Cage is back.
He's never
once
gone
again.
anywhere.
No.
He's never gone. He's always there.
He's definitely gone, but he's there. Yeah.
If you've seen Colour of Space, then he's always around. He's
We've got a new Nicolas Cage movie for us to enjoy coming in this September, and it's called The Prisoners of Ghostland. Yeah, it stars Nicolas Cage, Sophia Boutella, Nick Cassavetes, Bill Moseley, Tak Sakaguchi, and Yuzuka Nakaya. In the treacherous frontier city of Samurai Town, a ruthless bank robber, Nicolas Cage.
That's just outside Barnsley, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And
Just off the M6.
is sprung from jail by a wealthy warlord, the Governor, played by Bill Moseley, who you'll recognise from the Devil's Rejects, etc., whose adopted granddaughter, Bernice, Sophia Boutella, has gone missing. The Governor offers the prisoner his freedom in exchange for retrieving the runaway. Strapped in a leather suit that will self-destruct within 5 days, Cage sets off on a journey to find the young woman and not just save her, he's also going to find his own path of redemption. What do we think?
Wow, where to start? It's what we hope for with the Nicolas Cage film, isn't it? It seems to be kind of Kill Bill, cross between Mad Max, cross between go on.
Oh no, so I went for How Comes to Frogtown,
Yes.
Escape from New York, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, it was Escape Comes to Frogtown. I couldn't, or Hell Comes to Frogtown. That I was trying to think of. Yeah. It's all of those. It's I mean we often say that some of Nick's because I call him Nick. Nicolas Cage's films are a bit weird. This seems a bit.
I believe the correct term is smacked off its tits.
Yeah, but from the trailer, this seems a bit toned down compared to some of them. If this seems more actiony kind of genre as opposed to just effing weird, that actually seems like a bit of a storyline. Yes, he has to obviously venture off down to weird street or two to get there, but you can kind of see. Okay, so he's been released, has to do a job. He obviously has to fight some bad guys. Then they go off into some, weird parallel dimension or whatever, which is probably not shown, in its full glory in the trailer. But yeah, it seems an action film that people could follow, hopefully, as opposed to just being some random head bang against the wall type film. I think it looks good.
Damien?
I'm going to pretend it's the sequel to Willy's Wonderland, because it literally looks like from the trailer it picks up where that one left off. He drives off into the sunset, and he ends up in this weird, screwed up land where he's got to go and rescue a runaway. So it's good to me, and that's what I'm going to do.
I didn't think you liked the first one.
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, I didn't think you liked that.
That was enjoyable.
Oh, okay,
it's not as good as it looks, but it's a good film. So that's how I'm going to keep it alive. It's going to be Willy's Wonderland, the sequel, whatever this is called.
Willy Goes to Samurai Town.
Yeah, exactly. He's now got a voice, and he's got to go and rescue someone.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next one, his next film, will be a
space.
Complete that trilogy.
It'll be set in space.
Prisoners of the Ghostlands. Yeah, it does look like Cage may have done something that I think he's managed to sort of balance.
It's from the same
his cageness against what the amount of his cageness the public can absorb. Like most teenagers now, when they start on a Nicolas Cage film, they only watch half first just to take it in to make sure they don't get OD on it. You know what I mean? So it's just I think this is just sort of the first sort of part where I think we might have some sort of weird sleeper hit on our hands. I know the critics and the fans and the chowder heads have gone on about the other ones we've looked at recently, but I think this might be his new breakthrough into the sort of bizarre mainstream.
And it's from the same production company, isn't it? As Colour of Space and all that.
I honestly don't know.
I think it is from
It wouldn't surprise me
inside
because it's probably
It's probably Nicolas Cage's production. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah, it's due out on as I say, September the 17th. So put a big circle on your calendar, and it's the Cage countdown. All right. Next up, we have got the new adult cartoon coming to Netflix.
Brace yourself,
called
Damien. Adult cartoon.
Inside Job.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh.
In fact, I might go for a whiz while you talk about this, and I'll
Right, Inside Job is created by Shion Takeuchi, who wrote for Gravity Falls and Regular Show, and again comes out on October the 22nd, 2021, so just after Nicolas Cage. And in the world of Inside Job, conspiracies are not merely theories; they are very much part of the reality lived by our colourful cast of strange characters. Striving to keep these conspiracies a secret from the public is not at all an easy job, but that's precisely what our protagonists do as a living at Cognito Incorporated. In a workplace overrun with reptilian shapeshifters and psychic mushrooms, antisocial geek genius Regan Ridley is seen by her co-workers as an odd individual for her ingrained belief that the world could be a better place. Regan believes that her work could make a difference and bring something positive to the table, and she is voiced by Lizzie Kaplan. Also appearing is Christian Slater, Clark Duke, Disha Campbell, Will Blagrove, Andrew Daly, Bobby Lee, John DiMaggio, and Brett Jalman. But it looks very much, I think, your sort of Rick and Morty, your Gravity Falls, that kind of thing. And just looking at some of the pictures they've already released, I can see what may appear to be Tupac in some sort of like cryogenic chambers behind him. I'm trying to make out who the other ones are, but I can't quite. It might be JFK. I can't quite make them all out yet. But I think it's going to be good. Anyone else?
Don't know. No. I must admit, I'm a bit like Damien when it comes to some of the adult cartoons that are going around now. I just no. I just think I'm past it. A lot of the time they're not funny.
You are old.
Yeah, but a lot of the time they're just not fun. Or that you just kind of think, well, you're missing a trick, or you're just trying to be too funny, or don't get me wrong, there's some good ones, but. What was it? What was the one? Invincible. I didn't get that. It just didn't sit right with me, or it didn't click with me. And I think that's the same with some of the other adult cartoons around out there at the moment. It just doesn't click with me. And what was the other one on Disney?
Solar Opposites.
Yeah. Again, I watched it. I thought it was okay. Was I fussed about watching another episode? No. And as I said, I don't think it's necessarily an indication of them as programs. I don't think it resonates with me anymore. Maybe I'm just past it on those cartoon fronts for the adult cartoon. I watch Simpsons every day, I watch Teen Titans, but so it's not me against cartoons. It's just as I said, it's just the having an adult cartoon for I just don't click with them or sync with them or whatever.
So maybe that's the thing then. Are adult cartoons just too much nowadays?
Yeah, there you go. That's that one answered.
Or have people just become miserable and not learned how to enjoy themselves anymore? Phone in, write in, let us know. What do you think? Anything else in the news, Damien?
There is. Streaming service Peacock, which is soon to arrive in the UK, has landed a straight-to-series order of Field of Dreams, the series, obviously based on the 1989 Kevin Costner movie. That's all the information there is. I severely really doubt it, but there is no information, or not that I saw in the press release, actually what this is about. And I know that sounds a daft thing to say because we all know what the film was about, but I don't see how they're going to make a series out of this.
Is it going to be similar to Quantum Leap, that every week they're going to have to redo something or bring back something, or Well,
it could be. I mean, maybe they start with building a baseball field, then they have to build a football field,
No,
then-
but it may be bringing people back in touch with each other. I don't know.
And in the final episode, it's flats.
Kind of like a changing rooms.
That
I
does
would
not
say
sound good to
the
me.
Peacock coming to the UK might be the bigger deal though, because they've got lots of.
Yeah, but it's not always the case though, is it? I mean, loads of the streaming services are coming over here, but then you've got the shows themselves that may be airing, say in the States, like your wrestling stuff. That's on. I think that might be Peacock over in the States.
Yeah, in the States,
But when it comes
basically
over
the
here-
WWE network sold it to Peacock. Yeah.
But that obviously won't be on Peacock over here because they've got a deal with Sky of some sort, probably.
No,
Sky
no,
Sports
but
or something.
BT now.
Is it? I don't think so.
But no, but WWE have got their own network in the UK though. But if that does come over, that might be them then.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like shifting that over to Peacock over here.
I'll use a
but-
different example. Let's not go down.
I
the
know
rest
what you
of
mean.
it. Love
I know
it.
what you mean.
But what I mean is
Diff-
these shows have different, like the CW
deals.
stuff is
Yeah.
probably all on one place over in the States, but over here he's got it's a mix and mash of different channels, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that all the stuff that's on Peacock over there is going to come to Peacock over here. You could use a VPN, I suppose. I don't know. Would that work? I suppose it would, wouldn't
Well, that sounds dodgy and illegal.
Not illegal. No, VPN's illegal. They even advertise them on the telly.
It kind of depends on where your account's set up, I imagine, as well, though. Because if they know you've got an English account, they may not.
Yeah.
My issue is more the fact that how much is it going to cost to subscribe to them? Because there's so many nowadays.
Yeah, and I was thinking this the other day. It's going to eventually. It's the consumer, the customer, the viewer, whatever term you want to use, that loses out in the long run. Because we all know that Sky and Virgin. I mean, it's expensive enough as it is, but you're not going to want to lose the chunk of the TV channels that you get with Virgin and Sky to kind of knock it on the head and just move over to having 10, 15 different streaming services, because some of the stuff like linear broadcasts you're just not going to be able to watch if you do that, unless you want to faff about with a Freeview aerial and stuff like that, because not everything that BBC, ITV and even Channel 5 put out live is necessarily available to watch live on their catch up. So I know you can watch live TV on BBC and ITV Hub and BBC iPlayer, but I'm still pretty certain that some of the things that you start watching it and it will pop up, this is not available on this app or whatever. So eventually
you also
gonna
get
lose
stuff
out.
chopped. You get stuff chopped out as well, because even on like the BBC News and Match of the Day and that, after so long, when you go to watch it, like you only get like, when it gets to the game, you get the radio bit because they can't show the highlights anymore because they only had them to like show it at that time when that program was on.
And there's silly things like if you're watching iPlayer live and you're watching it in HD, if you're watching the news, for example, BBC News,
It stops.
It stops because they haven't figured out how to do HD for local TV services. So yeah, I think eventually, like you say, Paul, there's so many of them, and we're just gonna end up. It's gonna be us that loses out because you want to spend. What was it? Amazon add-ons are $5 a time, and it's already, what is it, 15 quid at the moment? I can't remember now. It's like 15 quid to subscribe to Amazon. Then your add-ons. So we got 2 add-ons at least, so that's 25 quid. Virgin on its own is whatever it is, silly money.
Yeah.
So same for Sky. And then you want to put Disney Plus on top of that. Peacock's coming over. God knows how many others are already.
But what else is on Peacock though that you can't get elsewhere?
Well, we don't know yet.
Well, Peacock in America, it's all the NBC stuff.
So Quantum Leap would have been on it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd have your Quantum Leap, you'd have your Brooklyn 999 or whatever it is, 911.
Yeah, but that's on other stuff anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying when it comes over, I imagine if they do what everyone else does, once it runs out on, say, Netflix, whatever, that'll be the only place you can watch it. Same as like what Disney are doing now, where they're letting all their contracts of everyone else run out now, so everything's just on Disney Plus. I mean, there's still a few films here and there that pop up on the BBC or whatever, but most of the other streaming sites now, unless like you buy it on Amazon or whatever. Most of the Marvel, Star Wars stuff's all gone from there now.
Yeah.
And that'll be that's sort of like you were saying earlier on with all the different distribution contracts. They'll let them all run out, and then you'll only be able to see it on whatever those ones are. But I think we'll end up that way, unfortunately. But
It's not necessarily a bad thing if you can still get linear broadcast in a nice, easy way. Because I mean, for us, we have to have either Sky or Virgin, because the Freeview reception around here is shocking. I've got it out here in the garage.
Just for the recording of it, and like recording things and all that sort of stuff as well. The Sky box or the Virgin box are just really good for those. Whereas,
you can do that. I mean, I had it set up when I didn't have Sky or Virgin. I just got a hard drive attached to the TV, and you can schedule recordings and stuff. But it's not as slick.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just all, and then don't always work or whatever else. But it's a crazy world of television. It's probably
it would help if we didn't have to pay the TV's license as well, because that's like 5 additional streaming services for a month anyway.
That's the big debate now, though, isn't it? But I mean, I would pay it if BBC iPlayer got their shit together and had everything on BBC iPlayer.
But it's still the same. But that's the same point. It's the same thing with contracts, isn't it? So they can show Indiana Jones, for example, on BBC One on a Sunday night, and it will be available on iPlayer for probably a week or two. But that's only as long as they're allowed to show it.
Yeah, I know. I want Grange Hill. I want Grange Hill. I want Rent a Ghost. I want all those programs to watch with the pigeons at the start. Aren't they?
Do you mean Pigeon Street?
No, do you remember you used to have those films that were always weird on like a Friday, and the start was always the bells ringing, and there was like pigeons in Leicester Square by a statue.
What, the kids' films?
Yeah, and then there'd be like the boy in the lion t-shirt.
That's the tiger t-shirt. Boy in the tiger t-shirt.
And stuff like that, It's probably shit now, but, it'd be quite nice to just think,
Keith Chegwin was in a lot of them.
There you go. And Cheggers was always cool. But, just the amount of stuff that all the Jules Hollins and stuff.
Yeah, but market forces dictate what they put on iPlayer or BritBox, and I can't imagine there's that many people out there that want to watch reruns of Grange Hill.
It's already on BritBox, and it's doing well. I'll have you know.
Oh, God damn it.
Doing well. Have you checked the stats? Have you?
He played into his hands.
Yeah, I know.
On BritBox as well.
And he just happens to have the stats available. It's like he planned it. He sucked you in.
And they can tell because they've gone up to season 6 or 8 now, so they're slowly adding them. I think if no one was watching them, they wouldn't bother.
Because it doesn't cost them anything, does it?
I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty certain Todd Carty's not making any money out of it, because back then they wouldn't have had repeat.
Well, that's a whole other argument. That's a whole episode in itself, that one. But okay, before we get caught on that, was there any other news items?
Rabbit hole, wasn't it? Let's move on.
That's it. That's all right.
It'd be really good if you got it was huge over in like China, and like Todd Carty would be like his career just reignites, and like you how pop artists were in like 90s.
He's doing concerts on the Great Wall of China or something.
And all he has to do is like turn up and wave and maybe like talk about Samo or something and
wear a leather jacket with lights on.
Yeah, exactly. Turn up on a motorbike or something, and that would just blow the whole of the continent away,
If you're wondering who Todd Carty is, there's a great article on him in our Heroes of Cult section on cultfaction.com. Other news?
Why The Last Man, which is an adaptation based on DC's comic Vertigo's acclaimed series by Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerrera, is going to land in September in the UK on Star, the Disney Plus one, not the other one. I don't know nothing about this. I mean, to be fair, as soon as I got to the point Disney Comics, I stopped reading. But is it any good, Brett? You would, I assume, know much more about this.
Very much. You will like it because it's
post-apocalyptic. Don't tell me what I would like. We've had this discussion before.
Yeah, but it's not superheroes. It's a comic, but it's nothing to do with superheroes. It's post-apocalyptic.
We need another one of them.
And then, well, going from the comic book, because obviously I'm not sure what the TV series would do. What happens in the comic book, I guess they'll change this, but in the comic book, on July the 17th, 2002, all living mammals with Y chromosomes, including embryos and sperm, simultaneously die, with the exception of a young amateur escape artist named Yorick Brown and is it capuchin monkey? Is that how you say it? And many women die. So there's all these disasters, and basically, yeah, he's like the last.
There's a monkey
dude.
in it.
Yeah.
There's a monkey in the
okay.
comic, and it's basically it's kind of a really more thought out and well written How Comes to Frogtown. Because obviously loads of people died, because if you're on a plane when that happens and the pilot's a man, you're probably dead. If you're on a bus or whatever, when all these people died that had the Y chromosome, you're probably dead. So there's been all these disasters around the world and everything, and
Okay,
builds on from there.
Piqued my interest.
But it's not. But I'll just say it is a comic, but it's not superheroes, and it's set in its own world. It's not. There are no capes, as far as I remember.
No spandex.
I mean, the trailer seems interesting, and it seemed to delve into like a lot of the fact that society's fallen, and it's okay, maybe women, but they're also fighting against each other and building up little clans or whatever they are, and still rallying around and fighting each other. So
that's not like women at all. You two laughed, I didn't.
No, so I'm saying it does delve into that. How do we as a society carry on, and that there's still all the feuding and battling and squabbles over resources and all that kind of good stuff. And so there wasn't much about the main guy, female, Jesus, the male character in it that I could see. He didn't look that young, but he looked. But that may be because he was shabby and they didn't shave and he had long hair. But you couldn't really pick out much about them.
Sounds like me in the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think it'll be a good one.
Okay, so that's one to look forward to then. What you can't look forward to now is a season 3 of The Order. I'll be honest, I wasn't looking forward to season 2, to be fair. I never watched it. I got about 5 episodes into season 1. That's been cancelled. It's no surprise to me. It was shockingly bad, despite trying really hard. I mean, how it got a second season, I don't know. But that's been cancelled. I know neither of you watched it, so that's probably the end of that discussion.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I want to mention is I've heard rumours of another South Park movie. Anyone know anything about that?
Oh, I did know that they were looking, or they have bought the Casa Bonita restaurant, which is always in the episodes. And they've actually bought it in real life now, because they've been going on about it for so long. But I think they got another 2 or 3 series.
I might be wrong. I'm sure I saw somewhere, and I can't find it now, but they signed a deal for 2-3 more movies. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm editing this out.
No, you're right. Right, they have agreed a deal with Viacom CBS, so that would probably be Peacock in the long run, that will pay them more than $900 million over the next 6 years, and it will include continuing the series, expanding the South Park universe, it's got in speech marks, and including new movies that will be exclusive to Paramount Plus, which is obviously another streaming service. So
There we go. So that's 2 breaking newses we have there. The South Park thing, and the fact that despite my hatred of adult-orientated cartoons, I seem to know something about South Park before our resident South Park / adult cartoon expert. So I'm done. You guys can carry on this podcast on your own. I'm out. I'm gone.
Spent.
Yeah. If I didn't pay so much for this microphone, I'd be dropping it right now.
Drop zone.
Drop zone.
Okay, first up in the drop zone tonight is The Changed from Michael Mongillo, where something has taken possession of the hearts and minds of the city's population. At first, Mac, Kim, and Jane try to convince themselves that they're wrong. They're not. An alien intelligence has merged with their neighbor Bill, played by Tony Todd, setting into motion a desperate struggle for survival of humanity. Soon the entire city is overwhelmed by the inhuman horror of the changed. But it won't stop there. And the trio cross every line imaginable to save themselves from the horde of body snatchers gathering outside of their suburban home. The Changed. What do we think?
Changed. Well, it's caught my attention. I'll give it that. I mean, the trailer is. I think we probably say this probably every week. It doesn't show us anything we haven't seen before. I'm gonna watch it. Do we know?
I like the look of it. Again, very kind of. I mean, the fact that they use body snatchers in the blooming their own writing. You know, at least they're not hiding their inspirations, I suppose. But I was a bit disturbed. I thought Tony Todd looked quite old and a bit skinny. To be fair, that bit sort of.
Perhaps he started cycling or something. People start cycling, they look old and skinny, don't they? So
don't have going, Brett.
I don't know. I was just. I just imagine him as like the Candyman, which is coming out. There's a new one, and that's coming out soon as well. But then maybe it was the role. But yeah, it was just a sort of like, oh, he looks a bit older. And
yeah, but then to be fair, in most things you see him in recently, not lately, he's pushing a gurney or he's in the shadows, so you don't really get to see that much of him. It's more or less pops up as a cameo to add some sense of fear.
And let's be honest, it's the voice as well that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, he's amazing. I mean, it was great in the He-Man Revelations cartoon as well as Scareglow. And the thing is,
did he look skinny in that?
It was very bony. Yeah, and also that's the fact we have to face is that we're getting old now, and so are our horror icons. But he's still got that scary disturbingness and that evil voice, so it still works for the man. And I think I could probably give this a watch.
It seemed, I don't know. I mean, it seemed a bit more like a BBC dramatization as opposed to something
a Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no. It's the woman that came on from the alien civilization to say, oh, you know me, I'm the voice of, I'm the face of whoever. I'm a trusted person. I'm here to give you the news that you're being taken over and all that kind of shit. It didn't look that great or realistic. It looked, as I said, more like a BBC dramatization, a cheap one at that from the 90s. And I don't know. I didn't get anything different, as Damien said, that we haven't seen so many times before from body snatchers, or how they're going to come back and take on the city, or whether we're going to get to see some bigger impacts on the global scale. I don't know. I may watch the first one just to gauge whether it's worth carrying on, but I wasn't mightily blown away in awe with them doing something different with this one. I don't think they are, but
fair enough. Okay, next up we have got Open Your Eyes, which is a new series that premieres on Netflix on August the 25th. And apparently, after a tragic accident, an amnesiac teen tries to rebuild her life at a memory disorder center, but becomes suspicious of her unconventional treatment. Go to Paul first for this one.
Yeah, so this kind of, and maybe it's just me, it reminded me a bit of Gothica in the fact that, they're in a mental institution or whatever this take on it is. I think it looked okay. There's obviously something going on behind the scenes, maybe a bit more dark and sinister that hopefully it will draw out. I think I would give this one a watch. As I said, it seems a bit different. And as I said, I think there's an undertone of, the big organisation doing something sinister in the background that no doubt she'll try and stumble across and try and save the day for her and other people as well. But no, yeah, I think it looks quite good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing that concerns me about it is how much of it is going to be about the sinister stuff and the conspiracy and all of the stuff it's kind of pointing to, and how much of it is going to be teen angst, growing pains in that end up coming to the forefront, and it's going to be getting less about the the conspiracy and stuff like that. So if it,
I think your worries. I think you're safe on this one, because I think the fact that it's not American means that we might get more of the disturbing stuff.
This is
rather
true.
than
Yeah,
it turns into Dawson's Creek.
yeah.
But you never know. You never know. But yeah, a good watch. It looks quite disturbing, so I'm up for a bit of that. And
You want to be disturbed.
yeah, why not? And again, it comes out in the next week or so, depending on when you listen to this. So yeah, go give it a watch, and don't worry about the subtitles. Right, next up we have got, I know you're waiting for this one, Damien, Kamen Rider Revice, where it's the 50th anniversary show of Japan's Kamen Rider franchise, so it's back for another year. And in the story, Igarashi Iki makes a deal with the demon within him, Vice, to protect his family from the diabolical syndicate deadmans who strive to materialize the demons residing within humans into monsters. One transforms into Revi, the other into Vice, and they fight together as Kamen Rider Revice. Deadmans use a mysterious device known as the Vice Stamp to draw out the demons residing within the humans and turn them into creatures known as Deadman, which is weird because they're called the Deadmans too. The creation of the Kamen Rider Revice will mark a unique and powerful combination between a hero and the devil that resides within us. Man, even reading it almost gave me a seizure, let alone watching it. What about you guys?
Seriously, who watches this?
Billion people, probably.
You said 50 years. Okay.
Yes.
So outside of its country of origin, who watches this? It's
very, very popular. It gives me a headache, I'll be honest.
Who?
People.
What kind of people?
It's the same
Seriously,
thing.
explain to me who.
It's in that.
Who over the age of 12 is interested in this nonsense?
It's in that thing with the Super Sentai Power Rangers sort of thing. You got your
I'm lumping it all into the same category. Power Rangers.
Got your Ultraman, and a lot of the Japanese series have been going for that long. I think Ultraman's probably been going about that many years as well. Like I say, Kamen Rider now, 50 years. I think we did a thing on the Sentai thing a little while ago. I think that was 35 or 40 years.
So it's just one of these things, like it's so ingrained into the culture and the TV culture over there that it's something that everyone watches on the Saturday.
Yeah, or Sundays over there. They have the
Sunday, yeah.
And every year, it then gets handed on to the next one, and it's a whole new series again.
So in essence, it's like a sci-fi Anton deck. They're on every week. The whole country basically watches round them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hypnotic or whatever they put into the bright lights and the colours and the merch as well. And some of them even have they do hit singles off it and stuff as well.
Yeah. So I think the thing for me is, okay, I'm probably with Damien now. I'm not actually going to watch it. But when you read the storyline, I was actually thinking, this sounds like a really good dark film in there. I don't want to see the bright day glow costumes or anything like that, but that actually sounded like a really good Keanu Reeves film, or a really good mix up of I don't know, it was Keanu Reeves and Nick Cage, but it sounds like a good storyline, and maybe the bright suits and all that kind of stuff is just missing or washing away everything for me. But maybe there is actually a good storyline that these guys out in the country follow. But yeah, it's completely lost in translation for me.
I agree. Damien, are you still puzzled? So,
I am. I'm looking at the trailer
again.
again, and it looks shockingly bad. If it's just, I don't understand it. Someone tell me what the appeal is.
Oh, yeah. So if you're listening and you're into all this, drop us a line. Tell us why. Why are you into this? Why has it lasted 50 years? What's good about it? What's bad about it? Where can they email us?
Wherever they like.
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Or just on our social medias.
Oh, you said email, so yeah.
Yeah, no, or social. Yeah, no, I was there for the email.
Yeah.
Total your email, Damien. You're wrong because.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
please do.
If they're saying that,
Explain
we
to
don't
me.
need to know about why it's bad. Just bring on the positives. Why is it good? Teach us, Obi-Wan.
If you want to, feel free to agree with me and email in why it's bad.
Yeah, 'cause I'm just trying to think, what other, we talked about this, I think, before, but you got Doctor Who's probably on about 55 years now. That's 50. There can't be many shows that have gone that long.
I mean, Doctor Who evolves, and it doesn't revolve around men in plastic suits. I know it did at one time, but
Ooh. I don't know.
I just felt the internet turn.
I mean, I'm not Doctor Who's biggest fan, but you can see the evolution of how it was, the glory years of Sylvester McCoy to now. You can see it, and it's changed with its audience. But this is just more Power Ranger nonsense.
I must admit, yeah, I'm with Damien. They all look kind of same.
It's like they don't make any effort to look real. I get it. It's never going to look realistic with what they're actually playing with, but they make no effort to create realism.
But maybe that's
this
the thing.
trailer is just nonsense. You can
maybe
see
that's the thing.
bad effects.
Maybe they're not supposed to be realistic.
But why does that appeal?
I don't know.
How has that appeal lasted for so long?
I'm with you. I want to be educated.
We all do. When I watch it, I feel like I'm about to have a seizure. It's just bright and it's like all those animes. You watch it and it's just like bombastically like, next thing I'm on the floor drooling or something. I don't know, but it's yeah.
I mean,
but it's lasted
conceit,
that long.
It's the conceit that we're supposed to know and get that these are just blokes dressed up, or is it trying to come across as if these are real? I don't know what you want to call them, entities that are battling it out.
No, I think it's
because
sincere.
They're clearly men in suits.
No, I think it's supposed to be sincere.
As in, that
you're supposed to buy
on the
into
joke.
The fact. Yeah, no, I don't think it is a joke. I think I could be wrong, but I think this is these are people saving the world. They're not really dressed up funny, are they? No, they're not.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think I think it's sincere in them being heroes or whatever. But anyway,
I fear for the world that my children are growing up in.
Well, they might not watch it.
Well, that'd be right, because those people protect them. Right, moving on then. Next on our list, we have got Afterlife of the Party, which is another new film, which is coming to Netflix, and it follows party planner and social butterfly Cassie, played for Victoria Justice, who is on top of the world into a freak accident during her 25th birthday extravaganza, brings it all crashing down, literally, when she finds herself in the waiting room of the afterlife. Cassie meets Val, her guardian angel, who explains that she has 5 days as an angel in training to make things right on Earth with the people who meant the most to her. Her lifelong best friend, Lisa, her grieving father, and her estranged mother. In order to repair those relationships and make it to the big VIP room in the sky, Cassie breaks through the spiritual plane to communicate with Lisa and enlists her help to set things right with everyone. In her journey of reflection and forgiveness, and in true Cassie fashion, a few makeovers and an impromptu dance party along the way helps Cassie find that she might be the one with the most to learn. Afterlife of the Party, September 2nd. Netflix, what do we think? Damien.
You're coming to me.
Yeah, why not?
No. I just can't. I'm watching it for a second time now, and it just looks shite.
It's another one of these things that's kind of it's a regurgitated storyline, isn't it? It's like Freaky Friday or whatever, where they where the mum and daughter swap places. This is another one of those ones where someone dies and they have to, change things. Or
It's a tale as old as time.
well, yeah, some would say.
On that Beauty and the Beast.
I don't know. Quite possibly. It just looks too bright and frat party for my liking.
Frat party.
Yeah.
Well, it is,
That's
isn't it?
what
Yeah,
the first bit looks like.
Paul's right. They've just took the like, your dad. Now you got to make everything right before you move on thing, and just repackaged it into the Instagram social media world of Crazy Cassie. I mean, it's basically, what was that one year? Always, Richard. Well, that was a remake of a guy named Jay. Remember Richard Dreyfuss Always, where he was the pilot.
Smoke gets in your
He had
eyes.
to
And
come
all that.
back.
Holly Hunter.
And John Goodman.
That's right.
Yeah.
And all that, or there was one, wasn't there one where a football player, he died and he come back and he helped someone be a better football player?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Those are kind of emotional ones. This is more of a Freaky Friday take.
Well, yeah, it's gone for the new social media star YouTuber generation, hasn't it? They've just repackaged it again into that, and I've got a feeling it's going to make loads.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's welcome to, and we're clearly not the audience for it.
Right.
Which kind of makes me wonder why it's on our list of things to talk about.
Well, when you read about it, someone dies, goes to the afterlife, comes back again. That is the sort of thing we talk about. It just happens to be scarily that this one's covered in glitter and is taking selfies.
It's like, yeah. Sabrina. I was about to say Sabrina's grown up, but they did that as well, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't think that was on Nickelodeon, though, was it? But but it is that sort of, it would be our remit. It's just this one's just the Candy Floss, Kardashian, whoever else it is nowadays version. Probably the Kardashians are probably too old nowadays as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's finished now, isn't it?
Who knows?
I think so.
I'm sure.
Not that I watched any of them, but there
was wall-to-wall TV coverage about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
It's
finished, and people were, what are they going to do with their lives? I could answer that for them.
Yeah.
They'll probably get one of them. Will have a spin-off, and maybe I bet there's a cameo in this from somebody like that, or some other social media blogger, it girl type thing. But so if you're into that, that's on Netflix. If you're not, maybe you'll be into this. It's our final offering in the drop zone today, and it is Noah's Shark. From Wild Eye Releases and director Mark Polonier, this November, fall into the jaws of Noah's Shark. A fame-seeking televangelist and his film crew set out to find the fabled Noah's Ark, but discover it is guarded by both an ancient curse and a prehistoric great white shark. Noah's Shark. Get to higher ground, apparently. I will start with Paul on this one.
Okay, so if I thought this was a genuine pun or a piss take, I might get more on board. Wait, I might get more on board with Noah's Shark.
Nice.
Oh, if I didn't
Did you come up with that this afternoon?
No, I wish. Unfortunately, I think it's a couple of blokes trying to make it a serious attempt at making the film, and I genuinely struggle with that. But maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe this is just a spoof, or let's pretend to make a really shockingly bad produced film, But I don't think it is. I think this is them trying to do the best of what they had available to them at the time, and that might be a couple of dodgy camera phones to produce this with some really bad special effects. But I couldn't see any pastiche or piss take in the trailer. It was, no, this is us trying to do a serious interpretation of a film, or serious, this is our go at making it a film. And I hope I'm wrong, and I'm hoping this is a pun. This is a whole big thing where it's almost like the Mighty Boosh type crew that said now it's our spin on doing a horror film. But I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's shockingly bad if it's trying to be a proper film, and it's probably one of the best hilarious films ever if this is a spoof. I've got to watch it just to see if I'm right or wrong, or wrong and right, depending on what the gist of the film is.
Okay, and Damien.
This is my wheelhouse. I just think it looks so stupid. It's got to be worth a watch. And I get what you're saying, Paul. That it looks bad. I think they're not even setting fire to what they're supposed to be setting. They put effects over the top of a bit of wood to show it's burning, and the sound quality sounds awful. But I think part of that, you said at the top there, Brett, this is a documentary filmmaker goes off to do something. So if it's shot in a documentary style, the sound quality may not be that good. If like me, you watch the terrible shows on Amazon where they're on the hunt for Bigfoot and all that kind of stuff, the sound quality is terrible because they've got a handheld camera and a handheld mic. So if that's the look that they're going for, then I'm on board.
Do you think it's a spoof, or do you think it's...
I don't know, because I've only seen
1
minute 30 seconds of it.
But that's my point. If it's a spoof, then I am on board. And yeah, I will no doubt find it hilarious, but I didn't pick up any of that from the trailer.
I mean, to be fair, if you're making a film called Noah's Shark, I don't think it can be anything but a spoof.
Yeah, but are they trying to be that?
Itself too seriously?
No, but are they trying to be that bad, or are they just doing the best that they had with a bad bunch, as it were?
I think we're in Ed Wood territory here, where they genuinely think that they're making something to the best of their abilities and really trying to, act the shit out of it and really make it well, when really it's not. And it's another, I think, well, Plan 9 from Outer Space looks like Citizen Kane next to this, to be honest. But I think it is just one of those sort of, I think they're trying, but I think it's going to, especially if it's like an hour and a half, I think it's just going to fall down on the fact that it's just going to be so bad that you can't watch it, and not in a ha way. I think it's just going to be...
Well, let's be honest, it's not going to be theatrical release. It's not going to be Amazon Prime.
It might be on Amazon Prime. But
Amazon Prime, where you rent it and you got to spend like 15 quid.
Oh yeah,
it's not going to be any of that.
Do you not think?
It's a company or a bunch of mates maybe that have got together and they've made a film. And do you know what? Fair play to them.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not watching it, but
with the like you said, with the tools they have available, they've created something, and I think it's worth a watch.
So that's why I'm hoping that they actually, if they wanted to, had a really big budget, but they decided to make
they
it
pissed
like
up against the wall.
No, but it's like, but we're just gonna have a bit of a laugh, and we are going to make it look like this, and they may be like real thespians, but they're actually trying to be bad actors, or come across as being bad actors in the film. I genuinely am. After I saw the advert, I was really interested just to see if I could find out any more info on the people that made it and a bit of background about it, because it's genuinely interesting. We did something the other month as well about I think it was something similar. Like some people had been making a film, and it was more of the background to the making the film that was more of the film than the actual film itself.
Oh
and
yeah, the documentary, wasn't it?
yeah. And I think this could be another one where the documentary probably would be better than the actual film. But yeah, as I said, yeah, I'm hoping it's a spoof, but I'm interested to learn more. Do you want to learn more?
And that concludes the drop zone.
Does anyone have anything else? Just double checking.
No, I have nothing for the drop zone. Thank you,
Cool.
Paul.
I have not remembered of watching anything else either. So I think we're ready for your roundup, Paul.
Okay, so that was the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 22, Caged, Deranged, and Chained. I am Paul Hawkins, and I've been joined with...
By...
in the human centipede fashion.
I've been at the front, shotgun the front.
Hold on, is that the best place to be?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, the thing about that makes me worried. But are you like, I really want to be in the middle.
No, I had to get my head around the whole human centipede thing, and then it's like, then I kind of remembered. It's like, yeah, oh no, yeah. But none of them are particularly great. Let's face it, are they?
Anyway, you have been joined by Damien Hicks
And Brett Summers.
And don't forget to check us out on all the... Well, we've expanded in social media. Now we are on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on all the podcast sites and streaming services and social media services that you can ever possibly imagine. And YouTube, yeah, we're everywhere. We're taking over the virtual internet as we speak. And you can also email us on cultfactionpodcast@mail.com. Thanks for listening, as ever, and we will see you next week.
Superman.
And I heard a noise again. I was like, fucking hell. But no, I'm just going to bed. I'm going to bed. I can't deal with this. I don't want to fuck about any more than I already have.
I feel like I'm going to watch him bury someone.
Twitter's for old people like us.
I was going to say, it might just be sidekicks.
Paul's taking over the whole show and wants to speak for us now.
Good morning, podcast listeners.
Who wants some drugs? Oh no, sorry, round Robin Williams. That was funny.
Recording is a better start.